Hey, what's up, guys? Mike's here. So last year, I have read Mott and Flame in around September, and it's very interesting. I kind of like that story. Yeah, I do. So I wanted to read another one of Whitney Name's story, and it's all Voltron, and it'll basically, keep lands on the other and vote clans. We're gonna read this story called Shop and Dance With Me that she had been created and she already finished it. So I'm gonna give this one the credit to Whitney Name right here. You can follow her on Twitter and on Tumblr. You can follow those stuff because I think she has lots of other books than that one. So I'm gonna read her finished book that's just like a few months ago they already published. It's called Shop and Dance With Me. And I'm gonna give you the description right to you. So, for the summary of what is about Shop and Dance With Me is that Lance and his friends have been regulars at the Altea Dance Studio for years. Not just for classes, but to hang out, practice, and spend time with good people who love dancing. Every year, they audition to be one of the few representing Altea at the regional dance competition. Lance has always auditioned solo, but this year, he misses out on auditions and blows the chance to participate. And so he doesn't self-proclaimed rival, Keith. Luckily, Shiro comes up with a brilliant plan. Convince Lance and Keith to audition as a duo. With a little convincing and a lot of effort, these two might just be able to pull it off and go to regionals. Or they might crash and burn. Ooh, this is getting rowdy today. Alright, guys? Anyone? No? Okay. In this chapter right here, it's going to be lots of swear things. So I'm gonna have to censor out for this one. So please bear with me because there's gonna be a lot of things going on right here, and let's right into it. You ready? Let's start it. Love TS, by the way. That's more than do. And I already have the album of Reputation. I mean, she's into a lot of sassy things around it. But I just put that one on the low side. Okay, let's go. Chapter 1. Babylon. I cannot believe neither of you asked me to be your partner. I thought we were friends. Lance whines, dramatically leaned back and draping his body across pitch, tilted them in the process until they pushed up against Hunk's arm. Lance rests his head on Hunk's shoulder. Lance, you hate dancing duos, Pitch said slightly. Would you even have said yes if we had asked? Lance scrunched up his face, nose wrinkling as his lip curls. That's besides the point, Pidge. My point is perfectly valid and shouldn't be ignored. Doll sitting sat cross-legged in the middle of Pitch in Hunk's practice room, gathered in front of Pitch's laptop. A YouTube playlist is pulled up on the screen, and they're idly scrolling through it. Your point sucks, Hunk. He tilted his head back to look up at him, eyes wide and lips in tongue. You would have danced with me, right, buddy? Hunk glares at him sideways, then looks back down the computer screen. Yeah, no. Sorry, Lance. We love you and all, but you're a huge pain in the ass to work with. Lance sits up straight, turning to face him. He throws his arms up in the air. I'm not. You are. Pitch agrees. You're literally the worst to choreograph dances with. We tried before, Lance. Never again. Hunk nods. Amen. Lance crosses his arms over his chest, shoulders slumping. Looks away with a huff. Some friends you are. You're just going to audition for a solo spot anyway, aren't you? Well, yeah, but so I don't see the problem. Moving on, please. They roll their eyes, somehow managing to get their whole body in on the motion. The point is, I'm offended. That's great, buddy. But can you, like, be quietly offended? We only got this room for an hour, and we need to decide on music for our audition. Lance sighs, slouching once again against Pitch. He rests his cheek atop of their head, his arms still crossed stubbornly over his chest. Fine. What about this one? Pitch asked. Hans couldn't shove in his face in thought. Didn't the third place winners do that one last year? Pitch goes, yeah, I think you're right. Ooh, what about... Pitch slaps Hank's hand away. Don't touch the screen. Hank's shoulders hunch as he rubs his hand. Hey, I need that hand if you want to dance with me. Pitch rolls their eyes again, clicking in our song list. Cheryl doesn't. Okay, touche. Still, I'd rather keep both my hands. Then don't touch my screen. Now, dancing without a leg. That would be difficult, Lance says. Pitch ignores him. What about this one? Didn't you guys do that one 2 years ago? Lance asked. They exchanged a look. Did we? I don't really remember. Lance starts. You did. You didn't win anything, but you definitely did. Hunk spun so fast he nearly hurled on stage. Alright, so not that one. What about a mix of these two? They kind of have a nice vibe we could like. Use both our styles, I think. Not this song. Lance whines, reaching forward to click the next button. Pitch promptly slaps his hand, and he yanks it back against his chest. Sitting up straight, he cranes against his chest, glaring down at Pitch. Jesus, are you sure those are hands? Aren't hands supposed to be, I don't know, soft? Or something? Pitch looks at him, giving him an exasperated look he knows so well. Lance, not everyone uses as much moisturizer and lotion as you do. Yeah, but your hands are like hard and sharp. I know, right? Hunk meets his eyes over Pitch's head, holding up his own hand and making a jabbing motion. And how are they that fast? Lance turns away from Pitch, eyes narrowing. Are you some kind of robot? If it'll keep you from touching my stuff, believe what you want. They gesture back to the computer. So why not this song? Maybe it's because I got dumped on Valentine's Day? What does that have to do with this song? It was playing on the radio in the coffee shop. Bitches breathe deeply, cross one arm over their chest and using the other hand to pinch the bridge of their nose. You seriously don't want us to use the song, which is, might I add, a good song. That works very good with our styles. Thank you, Hunk. Because girl dumped you while it was playing? Yes. It was Valentine's Day, Pitch. Who does that? How long have you been dating? Well, that was, our first date. But still, Pitch, stop laughing. This isn't funny. Pinch uses their and stifle their laugh, but they can't quite handle this one. Lance, if we vetoed every song that was playing when you had a bad day experience, we'd be limited to old jazz and nursery rhymes. Whoa. Okay, first of all, rude, he also one figure, then add a second. Second of all, there was this one time, oh my god. Pitch rolls their eyes so dramatically that they tilt over and fall against Hunk. They slap their hands over their face before leaning their head back, gazing up at Hunk through their windows. Hunk, our child is pathetic. Where did we go wrong? Hey! Lance snaps. Must I repeat? Rude? Hunk pats Pitch's head, shaking his own. Yeah. There, Pitch. We did our best. It's not our fault he's a little pathetic. A little? Okay, maybe a lot. Wow, Hunk. Hunk grins at him over Pitch's head for a second before it falls. Seriously though, dude, you don't really have veto power over our set list. Like hell, I don't. I'm gonna have to suffer to whatever songs you pick for months. I deserve to have a veto vote. Bitch lets her hand slip further down her face. Her eyes are crinkled at the edges by a smirk. So, does that mean we get to veto your set list? Lance feels his face drop and he looks away, shoulders slumping. Point taken, that's what I thought. Don't you have your own practice to do anyway? Hunk asked, one eyebrow raised. Lance sits up straight, eyes widening. You're right. His arms drop to his sides as he pats his pockets for his phone. What time is it? Paige glances at the computer screen. A couple minutes past 1. Well then. Lance pushes himself to his feet, stretching his arms over his head and leaning back slightly. I have a date with the practice room. He takes one step back, placing his right foot behind his left, and bows sweetly, gesturing to the side with his arms. Later, nerds, he says, giving them a mock salute, and wink as he straightens and grabs his bag, spinning on his heel and striding off toward the door. You may not have given us veto powers, but if you choose Britney Spears again, I'm terminating our friendship. Pitch calls out behind him. Lance flips them off over his shoulder as he leaves the room. His own practice room is on the floor above. Good old room 4C. The first time he had gotten the room, it had been out of spite. When they had first started getting into competition, they had started signing up for separate practice rooms. Pitch and Hunk in one, Lance in another. Of course, they had signed up for rooms next to each other. Why wouldn't they? They were BFFs, bros for life. But then Pitch had started making fun of Lance's music selection. So of course, he started playing his music with just a little extra loud, so Pitch could really appreciate it in the next room. Oh well, the feud had gotten a little out of hand. Once Pitch and Hunk even tried to mess with the speakers in Lance's room, so in retaliation, Lance had sung Justin Bieber's Baby at the top of his lungs as they conceded and fixed the speakers. It had taken 10 minutes. After that, Pitch and Hunk started choosing a room, specifically room 3C. That was always booked on both sides. Lance, rightfully seeing this as a challenge, chose good old room 4C, so it can not only blast his music, but also stop on the floor above them. This only lasted a couple of weeks before they all grew tired of it. But by then Lance was already attached to that room. It's his room. Well, yeah, the other people used it too. But Lance always signs up for that room. He's a creature of habit, alright? He likes to have familiar space to practice in, even if the auxiliary cable in that room is a little buggy. And sometimes the speakers crackle when they get too loud. And there's a couple wrapped floorboards that he sometimes strips down and one of the mirrors is much to hell. The room has character. As he climbs the stairs, he pulls out his phone, easily flipping through his playlist. He hasn't really decided on a set list for this year, let alone an audition song. He usually does it ahead of time. He kinda just lets his music go through a shuffle until something really speaks to him, until it feels right. The fourth floor is pretty much deserted when he gets there. It's the middle of the day, and none of the actual dance lessons start until late afternoon, when most schools are out. The only people who are around at this time of the day are people like him, those who don't go to school and don't have a set 9 to 5 job, and people like Pitch and Hunk, cartoons with all late time classes. It's a great time to practice. To be honest, no kids running around, the whole fourth floor to himself, peace and what is here? Music. And not the muffled doll beats that can usually be heard from downstairs or upstairs. This is like loud, clear music. Music from this floor. Lance looks up, scanning the line of doors. They're all closed except for one. One that's cracked. One that has music and light spilling from it. Who the hell even practices on the fourth floor? There isn't enough people around this time of day to warrant anyone besides him coming all the way up here. The second and third floor have plenty of practice rooms to choose from. Is that room 4C? Oh, hell no! Shoving his phone into his pocket, Lance stomps over to the room. Ugh, what is it even playing? Some kind of pop? Yeah, whatever. Most of them dance pop. But this is like Not even top 40s. Lance isn't sure he's even heard this song before. And he isn't about to sit around and listen to it. He has business to attend to. And by business, he means bragging in on the who stole his room. He puts his hand on the door, intending to shove it open. But right as he does, the music changes. He may not know the song, but he knows enough to realize the sudden and abrupt stop isn't part of it. He hesitates at the sudden stop, and a new song starts up. This one he recognizes, Bastille's Pompeii. So maybe the music isn't all bad. He considers his curiosity peak. As the open vocals start, Lance slowly pushes the door open just a little wider, peeking through the crack. Alright, so it's a dude. A dude wearing tight black pants, a well-fitting black shirt, and a long-sleeved red flannel tied around his waist. He's just finished putting his dark hair up in a small ponytail, exposing a pale, slender neck, and he's wearing black, fingerless gloves. A little different, but hey, it doesn't look bad. Lance can dig it. Okay, so the asshole is hot as at least from behind. Maybe Lance can forgive him for taking this room. Maybe. Hell, maybe they can share the room. The guy bounces on the balls of his feet for several beats, and then as soon as the lyrics start, he's in motion, quick to jerk his body into position. One foot steps to the side, knee bent, corresponding arm lifting and angling. There's a slow move, arm rising and crossing his body, feet twisting at his weight, turns to their foot, hands to his chest. Other arm extended as his feet come together. The way he moves is beautiful, perfectly timed to the song. He alternates between quick jerks and slow, graceful movements, moving his arms and legs with such extreme precision for letting them flow smoothly with the song's lyrics. The way he can quickly shift his body, throwing it into a new position and stopping with pinpoint precision as if hitting a mold for that exact pose reminds him a lot of Pitch's preferred style. But the way his limbs roll gracefully after, shifting and expressing, is similar to Laura. It was an amazing combination. Even as the beat picks up and everything moves quickly, there's still those moments where he suddenly stops and flows just before his limbs are once again quick and jagged. There's a jump in there, and is it even possible to jump in slow motion like that? Or maybe that's just Lance's perception. He's kind of in a daze, completely transfixed by this guy's dancing. It's so coordinated, so calculated, and yet there's beauty in the way he knows and trusts his body to move just as he wants it to. Then the guy turns, and Lance catches sight of his face, and he nearly chokes. It's Keith? As in Keith Cocaine? He may have made a strangled sound, but if he did, it was drowned out by music. Alright, back to his original statement. Oh, hell no. Keith doesn't seem to have noticed Lance. Good, he wants to end the surprise. Just as the song reaches the chorus, Lance pulls the door shut slightly before stepping back and kicking it open. Ah yes, dramatic flair, Lance McLean style. He steps into the room, reveling in the way Keith's movements stutter, nearly falling over as he loses his balance for a second. Then he recovers and whips around to stare at Lance, eyes wide and mouth agape. Yeah, it feels good to have the upper hand. You! Lance snaps, throwing up an arm to point at him. You're in my practice room. Keith stares at him for a moment longer before his mouth snaps shut and he straightens. Brow furious. Lance blinks the ponytail. Stupid ponytail that had hidden the guy's signature mullet. If he had seen that, he would have known right away and would have wasted time oogling him. It isn't worth his oogles. What the hell are you talking about? Lance put both hands on his hips, cocking them to the side as he leans forward slightly, and he raises an eyebrow. I'm talking about you being in my practice room. Hello? Is all that mud getting in the way of your hearing? Keith's chin tilts down a fraction, and his arms cross over his chest. He looks Lance up and down, and his back straightens under Keith's scrutinizing gaze. His eyes hover on his t-shirt for a fraction of a second before moving on to stare at the colorful bracelets on his wrist. He feels warmth and starts to crawl up his neck, and he squashes down the strange mix of embarrassment and offense. His getting by shirt is one of his favorites, okay? A little cheesy, yeah, but he loves it. Pidge had gotten it for him as a joke. He had gotten Pidge and wanted this non-binary day with the N and B larger, more accented, and the bracelets had been made by his siblings and nibblings, and he will literally fight Keith if he says anything about them. He does his best not to fidget. Finally, Keith's eyes turn to his. Who are you? Lance's jaw drops. Is he serious? Who am I? Name's Lance? Keith blinks, staring at him blankly. Lance writes again. We were in a dance class together last year. I'm like, always hanging around this place? I practically live here. Come on. He blinks again, and something that seems to click. Oh, wait. I remember you. You auditioned for one of my regional spots last year. Lance is, honestly, a little relieved. He gestures at Keith with one hand, and another one firmly placed on his crooked hip. Yes, we were like rivals. You know, Lance and Keith, neck and neck. I didn't think you got one of the spots. There's some noise in his voice, which has been steadily growing since recovering from his surprise. Under normal circumstances, Lance would say he can't really blame him, but because this is Keith, Lance can and will totally blame him. He deserves to be interrupted. He's in Lance's room. Lance signed up for it and everything. Not to mention, he's severely disrespecting him right now. Lance frowns, trying his best to keep it from turning into a pout as he glares at Keith. Well, yeah. I got in, thanks to you dropping out. It seems unsurprised him. He raises one curious eyebrow. Did you win? Yes, I did. Sort of. Lance fidgets, crossing his arms over his chest and raising his chin. He refuses to be the first to look away from this glare fest. I got 3rd place. Okay, so not the most impressive. And he didn't get to go to nationals, but still he won something. And it has to count, right? Well, congratulations, Keith says dryly, and it grates on Lance's nerves. He clenches his teeth, hands curling inside fists. Thanks, he says, voice dripping in bitter sarcasm. He steps to the side, further into the room, and half bows, gesturing wildly to the door. Now, if you don't mind, this is my practice room, and I gotta start getting ready for auditions. There goes Keith's eyebrow again, raising up to the spear beneath his bangs. This isn't your practice room. Yes it is, Lance nearly shouts in his agitation, straightening. He stumbles over to where Keith is standing. He stops right in front of him and jabs at his chest with one finger. Listen, buddy, this is my practice room. I always sign up for this room. Hell, they should put a big sign on the door that says, Lance room, no mods allowed. Keith's brows furrow and slaps hands away. Look, I don't know what your problem is. Lance throws his arms in the air. My problem is you. But I sign up for this room. If you don't mind, I like to practice alone. I do mind, because I've said several times now, this is my room, Keith groans, putting a hand to his face and shaking his head before he slides up to hang at his side. He tilts his head slightly, still glaring at Lance from under fear brows. Look, my name is even on the schedule outside the door. If you would just... I don't need to look, Lance snaps, gesturing behind him to the door. The list is probably wrong. There's been some kind of mixed up. Now, sorry to convince you, but get out. Keith doesn't move. Why can't you just go to one of the other rooms? There are literally 10 rooms on this floor, and no one is ever here at this time. Lance sputtered, putting hands to his chest. Why can't I? Alright, buddy. Let me explain Neo Fang. He spins on his heel and throws his arms around, gesturing to the whole room. This here room and I, we got history. She and I go way back. She? Shush! Lance snaps, sending a glare over his shoulder. Is it just him? Or does Keith look like a little amused? No, he must be seeing things. Keith's sour expression just has layers upon layers. Anyway, where was I? History. Ah, yes. We have history. History rooted in friendship and determination. Our first meeting was by chance, but the bond we formed was special. And now, she's my home, and I'm hers. Are you always like this? Lance ignores him, and instead starts out in a wide circle, hands on his hips and his gaze sweeps around the room. Sure, she's not the prettiest thing to look at, and sometimes it gets too hot up here. But she's got character. Take, for instance, these floorboards. He comes up to a stop where he knows the squeaky floorboards are, but when he steps on them, there's no sound. He frowns slightly. They must not be feeling squeaky today, he mumbles before turning and dramatically pointing. Oh, those rap... He stops, and he realizes this what he pointed was entirely flat. Or the smudges on the... He snaps his head up with the mirror panel, the one that's been scratched and smudged and cracked since he started coming here, is back whole and clean and pristine. His frown deepens and he stands up straight, both hands hanging in his sides. Huh, he says, mostly to himself. His eyes wander the room. Now that he's looking at it, wasn't there a different poster on the walls in this room? And he always made sure the chairs were stacked in a different corner. Pompeii ends and another song starts up in its place. All the while Lance's Keith is staring at him, scratching in the back of his neck with one hand. Lance avoids making eye contact. I don't suppose you had any trouble with the auxiliary cable. He glances sideways inside to see Keith, shakes his head once. Nope. Huh, Lance repeats, because that's all he can really think to say as his stomach drops. He may have made a mistake. Maybe. What room is this? 40. Yep, okay, so he's definitely made a mistake. And totally made an ass out of himself in the process. But is he going to own up to it? Nope. No way in hell. Alright, he says slowly, placing his hands behind his head. Since you already started your practice, and I'm such a good guy, I'm gonna let you keep this room. I'll just go find another one. He kicks out his foot, letting his weight fall slowly before he's walking quickly toward the door. He really hopes he turned away before Keith could see the flush creeping up his face. Keith speaks up as he reaches the door, and this time there's definitely amusement in his smug-ass voice. You're in the wrong room, aren't you? No, Lance snaps, grabbing the doorknob on his way out. He doesn't turn around as he pulls the door shut behind him, like a little harder than necessary. He leans against the door next to Keith's room, trying to steady his breath and suppress some of the adrenaline that spiked through his system. Glancing sideways, he sees that the door does in fact say 4D. Very clearly in giant chip golden plane. God, why didn't he see that before he made an ass of himself? Well, if Keith didn't remember him before, he's sure going to remember him now. But it isn't at all how Lance wants to be remembered. Maybe as cool, handsome, charming, and a devilishly good kid, the answer. Definitely not as an idiot who barged into his practice room thinking it was his own. He hears him as he pause before switching back to Pompeii. And in that silence, he swears he can hear soft laughter. God, what an ass. Pushing off the wall, Lance stomps to his own practice room. The actual room 4C, which is unfortunately only one room over. It was an easy mistake. Alright? He slams the door shut and perhaps a little too much force. He casts a glare in the mirrored wall through which he can hear Pompeii still playing. For just a moment, his mind is filled with the memory of Keith dancing, how smooth and precise his movements were, how hypnotizing. Then, the moment's gone, and Lance is throwing his bag on the floor before stomping across the auxiliary cable. He jams into his phone before pulling up his plates once again. He hits in the shuffle, and not surprisingly, nothing but a loud crackle comes out of the speakers. He set his phone down on the table, turned it just so, and dripping the cable gently in just the right way. And suddenly, the smooth opening lyrics to Glad You're King comes in clear, followed by the opening beat, nodding his head in time. Body already bouncing along, he digs his Bluetooth remote in his pocket. Honestly, the best $20 he ever spent. Turning up the volume to effectively drown out, or maybe overpower. The music next door, Lance Shovel steps his way to the middle of the floor, turning on his heel and giving himself a spin. Arms up, he stops, facing the mirror, and flashes himself a bright smile. Then the lyrics pick up and he's moving. His eyes drip close and he moves, arms and legs, his whole body. Each step, each gesture, each all roll of his hips in time for the music. Nothing is precise and calculated pitch dancing. It's not all jarring big moments like Kant or smooth and elaborate like Cher and Laura. Hell, it's not even as energetic as Cran. But it's real. Lance always let the music just flow through, and his body moves on its own. Sure, he learns moves and styles, but when it comes right down to it, it's just what feels right. He bounces the ball on one foot, and his other foot shifting him around in a circle with small, quick steps. His arms are held out wide at an angle as he spins. Then he points the remote at his iPhone and switches to the next song. It only lasts less than a minute. He throws back his head and laughs as push it starts playing. His dance style changes immediately to match. The classic lasts only 30 seconds before he already switching to the next. In the pause between songs, he can hear that Pompeii has ended in the other room, and a new song is playing. One he doesn't recognize, but it's soon drowned out by Kesha. Can't help himself. He sings along to Tick Tock as his feet shuffle across the floor, and he gestures to himself in the mirror. That song lasts much longer, but nearly a whole minute before he switches to the next one. Club can't handle me. His moments get more smooth, more flowing, but he still retains his jump in step. And this is how it goes. This is Lance's beloved process. It drives pitch up a wall, and they refuse to be in the same room as Lance when he does it. Hell, he's mildly surprised they're not texting him to stop it right now. But I can no doubt hear him in the room below. When looking for the perfect song to choose to dance to, everyone has to do a little shuffling, but while Pitch does it at their computer, actually looking through their songs, Lance does it like this. He sets his whole library to shuffle and actually fills out each song, hitting the next button on his Bluetooth remote. Some songs last nearly a minute, and some last only 5 seconds, most average out around 30. He hasn't found anything yet, and he's not sure what he's looking for. But when he knows, oh no, he trusts his instincts. It works for him so far. He goes through the song decades, all the new hits, everything and anything he's got on his phone. He loses track of time how many songs he goes through. 5 minutes? 10? 30? He's in the middle of Bulletproof, and singing along to it of course, when he hears a bang. He stops in the middle of spinning his heel, nearly toppling over. He glares to the floor, expecting to hear Pitch's shout. When he hears, however, is not banging the wall, and keeps voice. Just pick a song already! Lance's head whips up to stare at the mirror wall, his eyes narrow at his own reflection. It's my process, he shouts, clicking the button. Immediately, whistling starts up from moves like Jagger. Your process sucks! I can't hear you! He yells back, whistling along the tune as he claps his hand behind his back and struts around his stutter steps. Then turn your music down! Land moves around the room, sliding dramatically and spinning wide. Slow arcs that get his whole body into it. He sings the first few lines before responding. No can do, Mullet boy. I have to listen to your terrible music taste, and I'm not about that life. How do you think I feel? You're forcing me to listen to your voice. Lance sputters, tripping over his face, stumbling over the mirror. Excuse, my voice is a blessing. He shouts, coming to stand right in front of the mirror and glaring at the wall. more like a curse. His voice isn't a shout, but it's definitely loud enough to be heard through the wall. Lance whistles. Mean like your mullet? What's your problem? My problem? Well, first of all, you tricked me into thinking you had my room. You didn't, but semantics. And secondly, you're interrupting my dance process. And thirdly, he's still hella embarrassed after barging in and keeps making a scene. Not to mention chicken mouth. You can barely say he's heating up just thinking about it. He's never going to let this down. He has to find out what depressed Keaton did with his dancing, or he'll forever be remembered as a who barged in on him. He isn't going to think too hard about why he's concerned about how Keith remembers him. Maybe because Keith appeared in him before, and Lance sure as hell remembers him. So, yeah, he's a little offended. And we're back to the whole your process sucks point. Lance holds out a hand, tapping the next button. The song isn't doing for him anymore. The sound of computerized symbols and the familiar beat came over his speakers. He grins to himself. His bad mood already starting to subside. Oh yes, nothing a little T-Swift can't help it. Stay out too late, he said, stepping away from the mirror with exaggerated moves. Standing his windows, get nothing in my brain. He hears a loud, barks of a laugh from out of the room. I'll say, Lance's head jerks around at the wall, then sticks his nose up in the air and continues his jazz in the center of the room, singing perhaps just a fraction louder. That's what people say, eh? That's what people say. He begins his move, closing his eyes, doing his best to block out all the noise from that room. It isn't quite working. This song doesn't have enough back volume. You can clearly hear the muffled sound of Keith's music. He vaguely recognizes it as a Panic in the Disco song, as his own song reaches the chorus. He holds the remote, turning up the volume. While he's at it, he hits the next button. Through his opening beats of Danza Kuduro, you can hear the voice of Keith's music rising, and it's disrupting his flow. Instinctually, Lance rises his own up to max, singing along in Spanish and rolling his hips as the music blasts from his speakers, but he just hears Keith's voice rise to match his. Oh, so that's how they're going to play it. Alright, Lance can dig it. He's got a lot of experience in this department. In retaliation, Lance hits the next button, counts to 10, then hits it again, rinse and repeat. The whole time he doesn't stop moving. The change in rhythms are drastic, clashing, and it barely has time to adjust before we change to it. But it's all worth it, just because it's savoring an idea and not key. So it dances with non-committal moves, balancing on the balls of his feet, kicking on his legs, rotating his arms, spinning on his heel before sliding, hopping to the side, rolling his hips. He goes through and 20 songs like this before he hears a shout from the other room. If you want to audition for regionals, you actually need to pick a song instead of shuffling through every 5 seconds. Excuse you, I'm waiting 10 seconds. You should know, he's counting. There is particularly soft opening to the song he stopped on. He can hear familiar guitar riffs coming through the wall, along with a very distinct voice. How about you pick a song from this century? He's going to ignore the fact that dancing with himself is actually kind of fitting. He's also going to ignore the fact that he's a fan. Billy Idol is timeless. Lance can hear the irritation in his voice, and he's reveling in it. He grins, wondering what Keith looks like when that cocky, cool attitude is shattered. He doesn't think he has ever seen him express anything besides indifference and boredom, and of course a little noise when he was in the room earlier. Besides, you were just playing Oingo Boingo a minute ago, and that's definitely not from this century. Lance's grin is gone. Demon's part is a good song with a good beat. He's not going to point out that the first heard it on Dance Dance Revolution. That he can get a perfect score every time. He somehow doesn't think they'll impress Keith. Keith's song just ends as Lance hitting the next button again. Suddenly, he's bombarded by the surround sound of sharp and dance. They're off by a second or two, but it's very clear that it's the same song. Lance nearly drops his remote in his haste and changes the song. He will not admit he has the same taste in music as Keith. He feels his face burning, extremely grateful that Keith can't see him right now. Keith's song changes just moments later. and he hears the opening clapping, the gentle strumming of On Top of the World before it's drowned out by its own speakers, blaring Lady Gaga. He's shifting his hips and rolling his body in some swift lagging movements, arms moving along when music cuts out, and he throws in silence, and he freezes, eyes darting around, his ears are ringing, but that's all I can hear. There's some music played instantly somewhere in the building, but it's not visible in that key. His room is eerily silent too. Then he hears pitched out through the floorboards, loud and annoyed. You're both officially cut off! His eyes snap down, his hands go to his hips, his thumbs floor. Pidge, what the hell? We're tired of all using your cockfight. Some of us are trying to be productive. The voice is still muffled through the floor, but it comes in clear. Honk! Lance draws out in a long, low whine. Sorry, man, but it was my idea. He doesn't sound the least bit sorry. How am I supposed to practice now? Lance stumps again, crossing his arms over his chest. Suck it up and use your headphones. Comes Pitch's reply. Lance groans slightly, hoping he'll care to inform. This is all Keith's fault. Hey! Keith snaps to the wall. Okay, I'm just gonna stop there for now because it's getting too long for night. See you back tomorrow, guys. When I can. Alright. Pitch doesn't reply, and instead he hears some muffled music from below startup. It's much softer than the volume he and Keith have been using. Blowing all his hair out in a long huff, Lance stomps over to where his iPhone is, making sure to be extra loud with every step. He rips the auxiliary cable from his phone, and he goes to his bag, pulling out his headphones. Plugging them in, he settles the headphones over his ears and starts up his music once again. He winces as the music blasts a little too loudly and immediately turns it down. Deciding, he straightens and lets his body move once again to the beat. At least this way, he can't hear Keith's stupid music or stupid voice. No distractions, just him and his music. No more thinking about flannel McMullet, or stupid ponytail, or the stupid way his body moves, or his stupid ass in those jeans. Yeah, none of that. As it turns out, Lance doesn't get much done with the rest of his time. With Keith's interruption and Pitch's interruption, he's finding it hard to really get back to it. Whenever he feels particularly grumpy and resentful, he makes sure to step extra hard so his friends down below can hear. His phone vibrates in his hand, and he glances down to see a text from Pitch telling him that his hour is up. If he doesn't get downstairs in the next 5 minutes, they'll leave without him. Glancing at the time, he realizes he's technically gone over his practice time by 7 minutes. Luckily, there doesn't seem to be anyone sight up after him. Turning his music down to a more normal volume, he gathers his stuff and heads out. While he's nodding his head along to Dancing Queen, he steps wide over the threshold, dragging his other foot along in a smooth slide as they sing. You can jive. It's not until he hears another door shut and glances up and realizes that Keith is staring at him. He's still got that red flannel wrapped around his waist instead of putting it in his bag like a normal person. And Lance will not admit that it's a good look for him. He also totally doesn't notice how Keith's black shirt clings him with sweat, or how some of his bangs are stuck to his forehead and cheeks. His backpack is thrown over one shoulder, one hand on the strap, and he's got a set of red headphones resting around his neck. He's staring at Lance, one eyebrow raised, and he swears he sees an amused tilt to his lips. Lance scowls, pulling his own headphones down to rest around his neck. What? Keith shakes his head, letting go of the door to his room and starting off down the hall. Nothing. As he passes Lance, he shoves his shoulder with his own. Lance doubles back a step, arms going straight down his sides and hands curled into a fist as he shouts. Hey, watch where you going! Keith is still walking away, but he turns to glance over his shoulder, pulling down his bottom eyelid with a middle finger, and he sticks out his tongue. What room you're entering next time? Lance bristles, his lips pursue into a scowl as he bites down the blush that's creeping his neck. But Keith isn't looking at him anymore. He grumbles, something unintelligible and partially in Spanish, as she shoves his hands in his pockets, hunches his shoulders, and follows after, dragging his feet. It's not like he wants to follow him. They're just headed in the same direction. He expected Keith to stop in front of the elevator at the end of the hall, but instead he turns right toward the stairs. Now Lance normally takes the stairs too, but for a moment he considers taking the elevator just to get away from Keith. That thought is quickly dashed, however. There's not way in hell he's going to let Keith think he's lazy. They're at a dance studio for crying out loud. They can't walk a couple flights of stairs, they might as well leave. So he follows Keith into the stairwell. Keith gets to the landing halfway down to the third floor. And as he rounds it, he glances up and makes eye contact with Lance. Lance freezes for just a moment, hesitating with the foot hovering above the next step. Then, the moment has passed, and Keith is looking away, continuing down the stairs. Why does he feel so offended by that? It was probably nothing, but it feels like a brushed off. He already embarrassed himself in front of this guy, and now he's acting all indifferent and holier than thou. And quite frankly, it rubs him the wrong way. Maybe he's irrational. He probably is. But at the same time, this guy, he takes only one more step before the song coming from his headphones changes. And once again, T Swift has got his back. Bad Blood starts playing in the volume is just loud enough for him to hear it. His lips curve to a slow spark, and he's hopping down the stairs at a quick pace before he fully realizes what he's doing. It doesn't take long before he passes Keith, shoving his shoulder in his own as he skips down the stairs. When he turns back to look, Keith's brows are furrowed, lips slack in surprise. Lance cocks his head to the side, grins, and gives him a mock salute before continuing downstairs. It only takes Keith a couple of seconds to catch up. Lance can hear his footsteps speed up behind him. Immediately, his heart rate picks up to match. Next thing he knows, they're practically racing down the stairwell. He starts skipping down the steps two at a time, pulling ahead, but Keith overtakes him when they get to a landing, and he grabs the corner railing, swinging his body around and bypassing the landing entirely as he jumps to the next set of stairs. Lance jumps the last 4 steps to the next landing, pushes off the wall, and practically flies down the steps. As they round the last landing to the final set of stairs, Lance glances out of the corner in his eye to see Keith doing the same. He doesn't have time to think about what he sees there because he's jumping the last stretch, Keith in the air a second behind him. His feet had to land a second before Keith's. Aha! He says, loud and breathless, straightening and throwing his hairs up in victory. I win. Keith hunched over his side, and instantly sees his pants. We weren't racing, he says, between breaths. Oh yeah? Lance crosses his arms over his chest, cocking his hips to the side as he grins smudgely down at him. Then why were you sprinting after me? Keith tilts his head and glares up at him through the hair that was falling from his face. Is it just him, or is it suddenly very hot in this stairwell? Keith sighs and straightens, adjusting the backpack strap on his shoulder. Whatever, he says, rolling his shoulders before walking away, leaving Lance alone in the stairwell. Lance isn't sure what possessed him to move, but suddenly he's rushing out the stairwell after him. Hey! He shouts, one hand on the door frame. Keith is already several feet away and headed down the hall toward the door that leads to the back parking lot. He stops and turns, one eyebrow raised in sound question. He's not frowning anymore, but he's by no means smiling. Does he always look that sour? You auditioning for regionals again this year? He blurts out before he can lose his nerve. Keith's second eyebrow went up as well. He blinks, and Lance squirms in his house. What? It was a totally innocent question. It's not like it was hard. Keith seems to think it is tough. His brows suddenly furrow, and he purses his lips, looking off to the side. Yes? Good. His eyes snap back to Lance, and Lance leans against the door frame, other hand going to his hip as he grins. Cause I'm gonna prove it to you that I can kick your ass. If you can manage to settle on the song before then. Keith deadpans, but Lance swears he can see the guy's lips twitching. Lance put a hand on his chest in, mostly, mock defense, gasping loudly for good measure. Oh, it is on, mullet. Keith rolls his eyes, but as he's turning away, Lance can definitely see his lips tilting up to a small smile. Lance watches him leave, lips quirked up to a wide grin, vocal at a fine pitch and honk. It doesn't take long for them to get the story out of him, and they spend the entire drive home laughing at Lance while he mumbles something about finding new friends. Okay, that's pretty. Kind of like doing this a lot of stuff, but it's pretty much getting over it, and that it was very interesting. And I probably found out that there's gonna be a lot of things that might be weird, but I don't want. It was nice that it's probably be the same, but who knows? I kind of like that. Pretty much like dancing thing. It's like going against someone, and there's our rivals. Keen Lance are rivals when it comes to dancing, but it's pretty nice. So that is the end of this one. Alright, guys. Goodbye, everybody. I'll see you in the next chapter. It's gonna take 2 days for this.